Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for our special webinar to hear more from one of our 2022 CACCE Communications Excellence Award winners. We are excited to hear about their program today. But with that, I want to introduce Izzy West. Many of you can remember Izzy with the Little River Chamber. She has started her own company and is now helping other chambers with their digital marketing and communications efforts. So at the end of the session today, you're going to get an email with this recording. It will also have Izzy's contact information, so feel free to reach out to her if you need some assistance with your chamber. But with that, I am happy to turn it over to Izzy.
Hi, thanks for having me, and thanks for letting us do this, because every year when I attend the CACCE's conference in April, I'm always super curious why people won the awards. And I'm like, let me know so we can R&D this. So I'm very excited that the Hilton Head Island-Bluffton Chamber was nice enough to put together this presentation for us, because we're learning about their Taste of the Low Country and Chamber Restaurant Week. But not only this award, we're learning from a chamber that has won ACCE's National Chamber of the Year Award 3 times. So we're learning from the best of the best. So that being said, Charlie, if you'd like to take it away and tell us about taking a bite out of chamber programs and business impact.
Yeah, we love doing these. We love hearing these. I've sat in on some too, and it's always great to hear what other chambers are doing. One of my favorite things about being in the chamber industry, which I've been in for about 21 years now, is the way we borrow from each other when it comes to great ideas and things to do for our chambers and for our communities. And this is definitely no exception. We are thrilled that this award has won, and I look forward to telling you a little bit more about it. But first, I want to tell you a little bit more about us. Just an FYI on who we are as an organization, so you kind of have an idea of our size and scope. 1,400 plus members strong, so we're a large chamber, considered to be a relatively large chamber. As Izzy mentioned, 3-time National Chamber of the Year. We're really proud of that. We were also a finalist this year, punching above our weight with Dallas and Portland, Oregon. So we were thrilled to be a finalist. We're also a combined chamber and visitors bureau. So we are also, in addition to being a 5-star chamber accredited with the U.S. Chamber, we're also accredited by Destinations International. So we take that very seriously, and just gives you an idea kind of who we are as an organization. So let's dive in. Let's talk about Chamber Restaurant Week. If y'all are not doing a Chamber Restaurant Week, you got to be doing a Chamber Restaurant Week. I remember attending ACCE one year, and I don't remember who said it, but it was just words to live by. Is that all chamber events ought to make you rich, or they ought to make you famous? And the really good ones do both. So this is one that sort of started out as in the famous department and has actually turned into a great, especially this year, what we've done to combine into an event that's a revenue generator for us. Chamber Restaurant Week is something we started 14 years ago. And it quite simply is just a great way to pull our restaurants together. We actually went to our restaurants and said, what's your least busy week of the year? We want to do something that helps you fill your restaurant with locals. As you know, Hilton Head Island is a tourism destination. We get about 2.8 million visitors a year, but off season is a different story. When it's, January, February, in those months, it's definitely a different story. And so they let us know that January, usually it's around the end of January, when they have that. So we launched Chamber Restaurant Week. We purposely run it from a Saturday to a Saturday. We wanted people to be able to get 2 Saturdays in if they want to dine out. And it's something that's become so popular now that we actually have visitors booking their trips around Chamber Restaurant Week. And during that week, our participating restaurants, they do usually a prefix menu. In some cases, it's been, for example, like maybe a 4-course prefix menu for $20.21. They'll do it on the year, whatever that may be. And it's a special menu they developed just for this week, and they advertise it as such. And the good news about it is that from us, from a PR and branding standpoint, obviously what great PR, great for our restaurants, great for our residents and visitors, and the residents and visitors. And I think one of the best things we did, and I highly encourage you, if you're going to do a restaurant week, brand it Chamber Restaurant Week. That was honestly the smartest thing we did for the whole thing, because that logo you see, that orange logo, is on every menu. It's on their websites. It's on advertising everywhere. Chamber is just getting reinforced. Can you take it to the next one? Yeah. We all know 2021, year in flux. What a year for restaurants. What a year for communities. what a year for chamber events and not in the best terms. And so this was a year that we did a few things to kind of keep the restaurants alive, keep them doing their thing, and also rebrand a different event that we did. We always had an event called Taste of the Season. And I don't know if any of you have those in your community. Taste of the Season was an event where, 40 restaurants come together. They offer a taste of this and a taste of that. 1,000 people come. It's lovely. And it's a lot of people in one room. And that is not something from a COVID perspective we wanted to do. So what we did is we sort of morphed that event, and also from a short staffing potential, we morphed that event into something we called Taste of the Lowcountry, and we combined it with our restaurant week. So during restaurant week, you can not only go to our restaurants, check them out, check out new dishes. We also put together a silent auction online that went with this. While restaurant fever is high, people are looking on this website, let's tie an auction into that and kind of see if we can make up some of that lost revenue from Taste of the Season that we normally do. It was a home run. It's also not a year that we wanted to ask our restaurants for free things, as we often are prone to do in Chamberlain when it comes to silent auctions. So we thought, wouldn't it be great if we partner those folks in our community who are doing really, really well with some who probably need a little bit of help, namely real estate. Real estate was going gangbusters in our community, as it wasn't a lot. So a lot of our realtors and other businesses stepped up to buy the gift certificates. So we weren't going to restaurants or auctions and asking for those items. We were paying for those items. And then the businesses in turn were donating, and the chamber had the proceeds from that. As you can see, we had in this year, 50 restaurants participated, 32,000 page views. That becomes such a traffic generator for our website, with 73,000 click-throughs to the different menus that were posted online. Results, big win-win. As you can see from the numbers there, the number of businesses we had participating that was over the top. People really wanted to step up. They love our restaurants. They wanted to step up and help. We also had 17,000 in restaurant gift cards, 22,000 raised for the chamber on this one. And that was just, for us, in a year when events were not happening, it was just a great way to put those two together. We put it across, the campaign was literally across every platform we could get our hands on. Video, website, social, you name it. And our team put together some great videos and things to go with it. Do you want to go ahead and show that one? This is one of them.
We're excited to kick off our 13th annual Chamber Restaurant Week with over 50 local restaurants who will offer special value price menus, both for takeout and dine-in. So whether you're visiting one of your favorite places or trying out the latest hotspot, Chamber Restaurant Week is a must. New this year, we have the Taste of the Lowcountry silent auction. We have amazing experiences, like a 4-course wine dinner for 8 at Charlie's, or how about an oyster roast on the docks for 12 at Hudson Seafood House. Businesses have graciously stepped up to donate these experiences to help support our local restaurants when they need us most. So don't miss out. Check out chamberrestaurantweek.com for menus and auction details.
That makes me hungry, even though I've already had lunch. Just watching the video. As you can see, we worked with our local media outlets, email headers, just about everything we did sort of had that taste of the Lowcountry and the Chamber Restaurant Week flair to it. We will definitely be doing it again in that format. It's not something we won't. And as a matter of fact, we probably, quite frankly, won't be going back to our Taste of the Season event, just because this one was able to, the revenue that's been generated now is equal to, last year was amazing. So it's equal to what was done with a lot more legwork and a lot more involved. Plus, with everyone being so short-staffed, staffing is an issue. It's difficult to get restaurants to come out and do a Taste of the Season type event. As you can see, the social reach was amazing, 43,000 in total social reach. And also, as you noted from the video, you can hear some of those. We really based it, and I encourage you to do the same if you choose to do this type of event. We based it very experientially. One of the things we have in the chamber industry is relationships. And so we found, instead of going to our restaurateurs or having our businesses go, hey, would you donate something for our auction, which can sometimes, as we all know, result in a $25 gift certificate or whatever that might be, we would go to Hudson's on the Docks and say, hey, would you be willing to do a dinner on your dock at sunset for 8 people? We got creative and we asked for what we wanted. And I really encourage you to do that because you're the ones who know your overall auction. You know what else is on the table. And we found those to be some of the most successful ones we did. We know that our gift certificates are always going to do well, but it was really fun to get creative and offer some different things with that. This is just, as you can see, our website. When you went to our website, we have chamberrestaurantweek.com, which was a great source, and people going to that could see, as you can see, the menus. They could also see whether the restaurant did takeout. It also gave us the ability then to go back to our restaurants and said, hey, we had 6,000 click-throughs to your restaurant in January, which is never happening. So our restaurateurs love it. They ask us every year, when is it? When does it start? As a matter of fact, one of the hardest parts we've had, or it's also quite frankly a way to get new members. One of the hardest challenges for us has been people coming on who aren't members. And we've been very direct and said, no. This is a chamber event. There's been a lot of peer pressure too from other restaurants to encourage those to be part of it. So it's become a very great membership driver for us in terms of getting new restaurants. If you can move that over so I can see that one, Lils. But stronger than ever, our 2022, just to give you an idea of this year's, 20% more restaurants participated, 46% increase in our click-throughs, and 26% increase in page views to the chamberrestaurantweek.com. Revenue as well this year was the highest revenue. When we compared it to Taste of the Season events that we've done last year, this was the highest revenue generator for us. And so it's just been a win-win. And again, I highly encourage you to do it with your chambers and organizations if you haven't already. I'd be curious to see if any of you are. Would love to share some of those ideas. But do you have another video, Lils, I think? Just one more? Let us show you one more that we did, a reel via social, which again was a great tool for us.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this now? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
All right, that kind of gives you an idea of what we're up to for Chamber Restaurant Week and Taste of the Lowcountry. Happy to answer any questions you might have or any additional ideas you want to put on the table.
Absolutely. Got a couple of questions. First, with the videos that you did y'all do those in-house or did you have a member help you with your videos?
We did our videos in-house. So Lily, who is our producer and she's running it right now, is our visual content manager. We've really made a strong commitment. When COVID hit back in 2020, we built an in-house studio. We hired a visual content manager, which is Lily. And she also does a thing for us called our Faces of Small Business videos. And this is a sidebar. I know we're here for restaurant. We just tell you guys this because it's such a win-win. Faces of Small Business, we did it on the premise that every business has a story to tell. And we have had for our members, our tiered memberships, we have 3 levels. And our premier level, we've had 60% of our members in the last year join at the highest level based strictly on that benefit. You can go to our website and see them and check them out, the Faces of Small Business. This was also the one that won the award for us this year at ACCE. We won the Grand Award for Communications Excellence. Out of all the hundreds of people who submit, the 12 finalists, this was the one that brought home the gold for that. So that's a sidebar, but go take a look at that. But that's Lily, and that was done in-house. These videos were done in-house as well.
Fantastic. Very good. The website that you have for Chamber Restaurant Week, and you've got everybody's restaurant logos. Are they alpha or are they, how do you place them on there?
They are not alpha. We try not to alpha them actually, because we want people to go through them. We want them to see all the restaurants. We want to be able to do that. So, and let me tell you, people will let you know pretty quickly if their favorite restaurant isn't up there. The hardest part for us has also been, and we all know this, sometimes with Restaurateurs, it's tough to wrangle them a little bit. So it's going to take, just know that it takes a little bit of extra legwork on your part to, hey, we need your menu. You're the only one not up yet. We kind of get that competitive spirit going in them. So our events planner really works hard to make sure that we get everything we need up on the website.
Awesome. How many items did you have for your silent auction total?
Well, how many did we have? We had over 100, didn't we?
Wow.
Yeah, we had over 100. So a good number of them. And the good thing, if you look at, if we've all done auctions in the past, the yield on those is incredible. Whenever we would do an auction, it was always our restaurant product that always really did so well, in addition to our trips and things like that. So it's just great to surround it around Restaurant Week. And it's just one more click through that people could go to support our local restaurants in the chamber. And I'll tell you, like I said, this year, we're not going back to Taste of the Season. This was just such a great way to do it without the legwork.
And so did y'all build that into the website? What system did you use to handle the silent auction?
We did. We built it into the website. We also did it as a separate, we would made sure that we had got the word out via social, via other ways, strictly about Taste of the Lowcountry, that this auction was something you could participate in too. So it's sort of a twofold, as you can see on screen, the two logos for each of those. And so we pushed them both out via all of our channels and did really well, really well on both. Our restaurateurs, as a matter of fact, one of the first years we did Restaurant Week, one of our food purveyors went to our restaurants and said, "What are you guys doing? What is going on? Because my food sales in Hilton Head are up like 20%. And I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on." So, and that's also, and I'll tell you, this is for us, a place I think we need to tap more, and you should tap. It is ripe for the picking for sponsorships. When you look at sponsorships, we go to our restaurants, we go to Cisco, we go to Coca-Cola. We're looking at, really, we want to make sure in the coming years that we're pushing a little harder for those based on the exposure that we're getting. And many of those food purveyors are more than happy to support the restaurant chain that supports them. So I really encourage you to look, when you're looking at sponsorships, it gives you the ability to look outside the box of those usual sponsors.
Absolutely. I'm going to circle back to that in a minute, but we've got a question from Zach in the chat. How did y'all handle restaurants that were maybe hesitant about participating or coming up with a special Restaurant Week menu?
We whipped them into submission, Zach. That's how we did it. It's like wrangling cats. It's really sometimes a really difficult thing to do. We just really, I think so many of them saw that they were missing out if they didn't. That was, I think, one of just a few phone calls usually got that going. And deadlines, we were just pretty, I'm not going to say we weren't nice about it, because we were, but we were very direct. Our deadlines were often put in very bold letters. We need your menu no later than X, just to make sure. And again, a lot of phone calls. The legwork was a little bit different, but we really did just kind of work hard to make sure everybody got in.
Another question, did you stick with locally owned or did you include chains?
As a restaurant, we're a destination literally with hundreds of, just a ton of restaurants. We don't have a lot of chains on the island, quite frankly, because they don't make it. But those that we do have, yes, we did have some chain participation. We definitely had some chain participation.
So the only caveat, they had to be a member of the chamber, right?
They have to be a member of the chamber. And we will go out. We did go out to some who weren't members and said, "Hey, this is a chamber thing. You need to come on board." And like I said, it was a great membership driver for us. We had new restaurants coming on board with it, which was really great to see.
Excellent. I wanted to circle back to the sponsorship, because I see on your logos, you really don't have any sponsors listed there. How did you list sponsors, or how did you promote sponsors for this? We, as I mentioned too, when I said going after sponsors, we need to do a better job of it. We had a $5,000 sponsor this year for the event. And we should have had more, quite frankly. We can have more. But I think we were just so caught up in the throes of doing the Taste of the Lowcountry component in our second year. I feel like we're now locked and loaded and poised to do it on our website, to do it with everything we do, especially if we get a nice big signature sponsor like a Coca-Cola. We've even considered doing Chamber Restaurant Week presented by Coca-Cola or presented by whomever. If that's coming through. And that's something I think that we could do a better job of and should do a better job of in the coming years. Gotcha. So your logo may change a little bit by adding that, presenting by, something like that.
And you can tell, yes, and you can tell the logo's punchy. I mean, it's meant to be bold and driven. The one thing, one of the challenges we have is sometimes we'll have restaurants put it on their menu or do the menu without the logo, and we're like, no, this is a must do. Make sure when you're kind of getting your restaurants on board that you let them know that this logo is a must. It's a non-negotiable. You have to put that in with what you're doing. We've also found some of our restaurants extend it. They like to extend it for a week, and that's fine. But we always keep it from Saturday to Saturday. That's restaurant week. We like to compress it and build that demand in for it.
Absolutely. Got another question, and I think you did mention you're on tier dues, but do you have a specific restaurant cost to be a chamber member?
It's on tiered. It's on a different level to be a restaurant member, definitely. But I want to also stress with you, there is no charge for restaurants to be part of Chamber Restaurant Week. We don't charge them because the payoff to us is so great. In terms of just the publicity and goodwill that we build through Chamber Restaurant Week. It truly has become a very, very popular, iconic event on the island. We had our state association come to us a couple of years ago because they saw we were doing it, and they'd now do a statewide, South Carolina Restaurant Week, and wanted us to just kind of fold into theirs. And we thought, I don't think so. I don't think this one's good, because we had just built it into so much. That may change in the future, but it's just become such an iconic event for our island that we wanted to make sure it remained Chamber Restaurant Week.
Fantastic. All right. Any other questions? That was it on the chat, but feel free to pop some more in there, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, feel free. Go ahead, Izzy.
I was going to ask, you talked about stepping away from taste of the season. Can you kind of just reiterate what specific tasks or projects that you're kind of walking away from versus the ones that had the better return on investment?
I think as COVID taught all of us, never waste a good crisis, never waste a good crisis. And I think we all in Chamberland hold on to those sacred cows so much, especially when it comes to event. Oh, we can't let go of that event. We've done that for how many years? And I think COVID gave so many of us a chance to really rethink a lot of what we're doing. We do a very popular event as well, State of the Region. This is something that we would normally have maybe 700-800 people for a sit-down lunch. We would normally have whether it's Senator Lindsey Graham, or we've had Ambassador Nikki Haley be our keynote for that. I'm sure a lot of communities do that, and your mayors, speak, and et cetera, et cetera. We revamped that to be online, and it was popular. It remains popular. This is the first year coming up that we're going to do it live again. We've had challenges in that regard. We've had there's only so many places that can hold a crowd that large. B, hotel costs are really high right now, and C, being able to service that size of crowd is difficult from a workforce perspective. So, we found we haven't had the fall off that we expected, and yet we're still being able to get that message across. So we've really kind of looked at just all of our events from beginning to end to say, is this necessary? Do we still need to do this? We haven't done our large gala in a few years. And what it really made us do from the gala perspective, always been a popular event for us. And we're rethinking that. The world has gotten more casual. It really has. We were looking last year at tying our gala into the opening of a restaurant that's very iconic called the Quarter Deck. It's on the water. It sits on the 18th green of the Harbortown Golf Links. Let's tie that event into that. People are curious. They want to see it. Let's not get dressed up if we don't want to get dressed up. Let's make it a little more casual. So that's what I mean in taking some of our events that have just been done the same over and over. We're not doing a sit down dinner again. It's just a nosh and grab, which is, I think, more the way we've been going from just an overall standpoint of how we like to be out and about. That being said, we've also seen, I don't know if y'all are seeing this, we are seeing such a resurgence in our conversation and cocktails. The other side of that coin is we're all zoomed out to some extent. We've seen a resurgence in attendance. People want to get together. They want to gather. And we're so glad we have that opportunity for them to do that. But we've seen that morph a little bit as well. It's sort of become a little fresher, I think. We renamed our business after hours to Conversation and Cocktails a few years ago. And we just recently had one at an indoor golf driving range that was incredibly well attended and very popular. We do that along with our executive connection. We brought those back as well because people wanted to gather. That's for decision makers and CEOs only. That happens 4 times a year. So we'll be doing one of those coming up too.